Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Sapna Dadwal. I'm working as a professor in the Department of Management. This is lecture 4 of Consumer Protection. This subject is taught in semester 6th of BBA course. I've already covered unit 1. I've already gave you a video lecture of lecture 1, 2, 3. In those lectures I discussed about consumer protection and the significance of consumer protection and why consumer protection is necessary or laws are necessary for everyone as a citizen of India. So now in this lecture, the topics I am going to cover are measures of consumer protection in India. I'll be giving the introduction, then consumer protection laws. There are 20 around laws in the regarding consumer protection, but in this lecture I'll be covering first 10 laws of consumer protection. The first one will be the Agriculture Produce Act 1937, then the Environment Protection Act 1986, then the Air Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1981, then Water Act 1974, then Drugs and Magic Remedies Act 1954, then the Dangerous Drugs Act 1930, then Drugs and Cosmetic Act 1940, then Drugs Act 1950, then the Indian Contract Act 1872, and then the Essential Commodities Act 1955. So these are the acts I am going to cover in this lecture. The rest of the 10 lectures I am going to cover in lecture number 5. So I am starting with first introduction of measures of consumer protection. The consumer is a king in the free market economy, which gives rise to consumer sovereignty. But actually, consumers are suffering from lot of undesired elements, such as misleading advertisements, underweight goods, unsatisfied services, etc. So, consumer protection is the practice of safeguarding consumers or buyers of goods and services against the unfair trade practices. In view of the widely present consumer exploitation in the country, the Government of India has brought number of statutory regulations and other measures to protect the consumers from this exploitation by businessmen and traders. So the main measures are as follows. The first measure is consumer protection laws. The consumer has enacted many laws for the protection of consumers. The second one is, though there were many laws for protection of consumer, but a separate law has been enacted in 1986 for the consumer protection, that is called as Consumer Protection Act 1986. This law covers all the aspect of consumer protection. Then third is mechanism for consumer protection. The government has created mechanism for consumer protection, like establishment of district forum, state commission, national commission, grievance redressal bodies, etc. for the protection of the consumers. So in this lecture, I'm starting with consumer protection law, that is first mechanism. I'm starting with first mechanism of consumer protection laws. So Government of India has passed several enactments for the welfare of people. With the advent of consumerism, the people who are consumers of India, the Government of India has passed various legislation for their welfare. Some of these legislations provide protection to consumers, and these legislation or these laws are as follows. The first, I'm starting with first, that is Agricultural Produce Act 1937. This act is responsible for grading and marketing of agricultural produce. So the act was passed by grading and marketing of agricultural produce. This act enables the manufacturers and producers of various agricultural products to obtain AgMark certification. So AgMark ensures quality and standard of product to consumer. This act provides penalties for the unauthorized marketing, counterfeiting grade designation marks, and selling degraded articles. Now, the second act is the Environment Protection Act 1986. The decline in environment quality has been evidenced by increasing pollution, excessive concentration of harmful chemicals in the atmosphere, and in food chains. So, the Government of India passed legislation for the environment protection. Through it, there were some laws, though there were some laws before this law, but those laws were dealing with specific categories of pollution. They were not covering the major part of the environment hazard. So there was need for an authority which can assume the lead in environmental hazards and pollution. So this act provides for the protection and improvement of environment. Now, next law is the Air, that is Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1981. The Air Act 1981. This act was passed by the Parliament with the following objectives: to provide prevention and control of air pollution, to establish board of carrying out functions, carrying out functions to fulfill the main objective of the act. Then third one is to confer required persons to boards constituted under the act. So these were the objectives of this act. So in other words, this act was enacted with these three objectives mainly. So as per the act, air pollution means only solid, liquid, or gaseous substances including noise present in the atmosphere in such concentration as may be or tend to be injurious to human beings. The act empowers the state boards to issue only directions in writing to any person, officers and authorities. So it is very clear that why this act was passed, why there was need to pass Air Act. Now the fourth one is the Water Pollution Act or the Water Act 1974. That is, this act was passed for prevention and control of pollution in the water. So this act is intended to provide for the prevention and control of water pollution and maintaining or resorting of wholesome of water. This act empowers the central government to appoint central boards and state government to appoint state boards for the prevention and control of water pollution. The act, the drugs, and the next is the Drugs and Magical Remedies, that is Objectionable Advertisement Act 1954. This legislation or act was made to regulate advertisement relating to alleged cures, which tends to cause the gullible and the unwary to report to self-medication with useless and sometimes harmful drugs. So magic remedy has been defined in the act to include talisman, mantra, quatch, or things of this kind alleged to possess miraculous powers in the diagnosis, cure, mitigation, treatment, or prevention of any disease in human beings or animals. So this act also prohibits the advertisement of certain drugs in the newspaper or magazines relating to cure for general diseases. It prohibits misleading advertisement relating to drugs. Now the next act is the Dangerous Drugs Act 1930. The, the enactment was made with a view to control operations relating to dangerous drugs. It prohibits cultivation of coca plants. It also prohibits manufacturing of opium. But a person can lawfully possess the opium for his consumption, import, export. Sale of opium is prohibited. In this prohibited as per this act. You cannot sale or purchase. You cannot sell opium without getting a license from the government, or without the permission from the government. So now the next is the Drugs and Cosmetic Act 1940. So Pharmaceutical Inquiry Committee approved by Government of India submitted its findings, and in accordance with its recommendation, the Drugs and Cosmetic Act was enacted. It empowers the central government to control the manufacture of drugs. The government is empowered to appoint drug inspectors for inspecting the premises of manufacturers and collect samples of drugs for the purpose of analysis by a government analyst. The minimum punishment of 2 years imprisonment will be imposed for those who indulge in manufacture or sale of certain misbranded drugs or misgraded drugs. There is also provision in the Act for the confiscation of substandard or misbranded drugs. Ayurvedic and Unani drugs were also brought within the scope of this act. So in order to solve serious problems like adulteration of drugs and production of spurious and substandard drugs, this act was amended in 1982. Now the next act is the Drugs Act 1950. The act was made with the view to control the sale, supply and distribution of drugs. The act enables the government to fix maximum price and maximum quantities to be held or sold. It imposes higher quantity restrictions. A duty is cast on the dealers to declare possession of excess stocks and exhibiting the list of prices and stock. This act confers powers of search and seizure on the authorities concerned. A machinery has been established both at central government and state level, at various state level, to implement the provision of the Drugs Act or provision of this act. Directorate General Office is established at Calcutta, and various directorates are established at various state capitals. This machinery is called as drug administration. So the objective of drug administration is to control the drugs, or to see the dealers are doing work or selling drugs as per the act, provision of the act. Now next one is Indian Contract Act 1872. This act was made to regulate agreements entered into by parties either orally or in writing. The modern consumers are also required to enter into different contracts to fulfill their daily needs. They make daily transactions with traders and sellers. So they enter into different agreements in their daily course of business. So Indian Contract Act helps the consumers by protecting their rights. The next is the Essential Commodities Act 1955. The object of this act is to make certain provision by way of amendment to Essential Commodities Act for a temporary period of 15 years. Sorry. The Essential Commodity Act 1955. The object of this act is to secure available distribution of essential commodities at fair prices in the interest of general public. So this act enumerates classes of commodities which are essential in day-to-day living. Unless there is essential commodities are made available to the people, there will be chaos and unrest in the society. So in the interest of the society, there is need to provide access to public to these essential commodities. The objective of this act is to check the inflationary trends in prices and to ensure equitable distribution of the essential commodities. So these are the questions which are related to the above discussed topic. If any queries there, please do contact me. And another 10 laws I am going to discuss in my next lecture, that is lecture 5.